So I had this love for biology, life sciences. So I like science. So I said, being a scientist is possibly a career option. Um, so I pursued actually marine biology after my bachelor's in zoology, because I just liked life. And when I was pursuing marine biology, I said, but I don't like scuba diving. But I like being a scientist. So at that time, the HIV, AIDS epidemic was just starting. People were just understanding what is HIV, what is AIDS. So molecular biology was a hot field to be in. So I said, let me pursue a PhD in cell and molecular biology. So I went into that. And so I got my PhD training in that. And I was asking very basic questions. How does a cell function? And that was interesting. But I found that I preferred to see actually some applied aspect to it. So then my research kind of diverted me to working with what are the risk factors, causes, and possible preventive mechanisms in diabetes in Native Americans, Pima Indians. So I was at NIDDK in Phoenix for 5 years, and I loved the fact that I was asking basic questions, yes, yet in an applied fashion in an ethnic population. So after 5 years, I had the opportunity here to study the same kind of things but in Mexican Americans. And there's a huge prevalence of obesity and diabetes in Rio Grande Valley. So I moved here, and that's what I've been doing so far. So I guess to summarize your question, I would say I had a passion for biology always, and science, and learning, and curiosity. So being a scientist and now also a professor is just exactly fitting with me.
And how did you know you wanted this? Like, what advice would you give to someone in a medical science career?
Right. So first, understand, when you say you're interested in medicine, have you shadowed physicians? Do you know the pathway that it is a minimum 10-year commitment till you can practice, right? 4-year undergraduate, 4-year medical school, plus at least 2 years of post-medical school residency training. It can be 3 years sometimes or more, depending on your specialty. Do you know that? Are you willing to face all kinds of challenges and persevere? If you are sure this is your passion, go for it, and you'll get it. But a lot of people don't investigate what is involved, and they just say, oh, I want to be a doctor, without really thinking through what you need to do, what does it involve, how is your life going to be. So understand your pathway, then go for it.
And what would you think? Wait, I need another question. What would you also recommend for someone coming in? Like, what courses would you select?
Right. So coming in, meaning from high school to college. So if you're interested in medicine, so you have multiple options. So to apply to medical school, you can even have a BA in English, and you can apply to medical school as long as you have the prerequisites, which are certain biology courses, certain chemistry courses, certain physics, math courses, certain science courses, right? But typically the student goes into a BS in biology or a BS in biomedicine. Some go BS in chemistry or psychology, and then they apply. But before you go into the undergraduate major, for anybody interested in medicine, you have to have college algebra and pre-cal, because those are the prerequisites for the very basic chemistry course, and chemistry is fundamental to medicine or biomedicine or biology. So if you're in high school and you want to take college level courses, you should take college algebra and pre-chem, because then the first semester here you can register for chemistry 1, right? So in our program, for example, students can register for chemistry 1 and our foundational BMed courses. If you were to go into biology, they would also do the same, chemistry 1 and bio 1, right? If you go into BA English, you can pursue that, but you must take all the science courses that are prereqs for medical school, and you have to prepare for the MCAT exam. So it's just like the SAT and ACT, there's the MCAT exam, right?
And lastly, what are the challenges you have faced? Like, what is the hardest challenge you have faced being in this career?
To persevere, because any pathway you choose, whether you're a scientist or a physician or a professor or a school teacher or working in retail, even though you have a passion for it, there are obstacles, right? You have to prove yourself at work. You have to do the daily grind. The workload can be very heavy. You have to make sacrifices, maybe in your personal life, right? And to persevere despite the challenges and obstacles is the most difficult thing, because you have to train your mind to keep going. You have to be resilient. The rewards are great, but there are days when you will question, am I in the right path? What am I doing, right? And to just keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was fun.
Just some of this one.
Okay, and are you in the BMed program?
No, but I'm interested in the career pathway.
Okay.
And I want